It's homecoming for the Huskies at Memorial Stadium tonight. The annual crowning of the homecoming king and queen will happen at halftime, but first things first, the Huskies are trying to get back to the 500 mark at 3-3. It could just be the perfect situation for that, as the struggling Sterling Heights Stallions haven't won a game in over a year. So in reality, there's no excuse for the Huskies this time, or is there? Quarterback Alex Johns-Moore has gone down with a knee injury. We'll talk more about that as this game goes along. But first, right at opening kickoff, 25 quickly, 30, 35, 40, and down to the 45-yard line. That's a good return to start things off in great field position. Hunter Potter, the return man, the unlikely return man for the Port Huron Northern Huskies, who now come out on offense. Good evening again, everyone. Derek Wark, the Big D. Well, some bad news for the Port Huron Northern Huskies, as Alex Johns-Moore went down with a knee injury last week, so big question marks kind of now, but with Darian Hack back last week versus Utica, seems like a bit of a new Husky defense has emerged. Here's their offense obviously out there right now, but will the Huskies feel like royalty tonight on homecoming? Let's cheer them on like kings, shall we? Indeed. First and 10, 40-yard line. Goulding from shotgun, low snap, right side, caught, complete. Got about 4, maybe 3.5, got to about the 49-yard line. Quick out, complete in the early going. Nice to see Blake Goulding getting into the flow of things. Andrew Sufis on the early reception for the Northern Huskies. Well, the Huskies on offense, first off, they're 2-3 overall right now, 1-1 in the MAC Blue. The Huskies lost their entire front 7 on defense a season ago. We know that. 6 starters returned on offense, but through suspensions and injuries, it makes you wonder how good they'd really be if they fielded a complete team. Again, with Johns-Moore out due to a knee injury. Not exactly a complete team at this stage. This is second down. Side pitch. That's dropped. That'd be a live football. Kotsko quickly adjusted and got 1 yard. Not a bad effort, really, but just one. Bit of an error again by the Huskies there. And the bad weather might have something to do with it. Certainly raining, blowing, wet tonight. And it doesn't really favor the passing game, that's for sure. Again, CPHS Channel 6, hello again to you and yours. Football greetings from Memorial Stadium. Derek Wark, the Big D, along with you yet again tonight, sitting in the captain's chair. And in a warm booth, I'm glad about that. Got a fan here, got a phone. Actually, that's a heater, not a fan. Here I am. Starting late, but we started. Props to the guys down there in the truck, too, for that. Shotgun, 3rd down and 5 from the 50. Big play early, Big Reds. Play action, Goulding, quarterback keeper, and pushed forward. Keeps going, battles forward with a second effort for the first down to the 40-yard line of Sterling Heights. That's a telltale sign right there, really, of just keep your effort going. He looked like he'd be stopped, but again, and if you're a lineman blocking for him, you notice how the lineman there pushed him forward. That's key. Well, here I am again, and welcome, folks. Derek Wark, Big D, CPHS Channel 6. Wet and rainy outside. That's going to play a key factor in the game, particularly if you're a running football team, sloppy, holding onto the ball, going to be a big key. We saw Quinn Kotsko a moment ago drop the ball. So, again, big key. And this sort of situation, this sort of weather, really takes away the pass when it's blowing like this. That's a big key, especially since Goulding, not the running quarterback of Alex Johns-Moore, who is now hurt, as mentioned. And so that would take away the passing game of Northern a little bit with this wind. First and 10, ball marked at the 40. Flag on the play first, before this first down play. Flagged are the Huskies, and that'll push them back a little bit here. Last year, a spread offense, but last week, the Huskies lined up in more of a, what you call a shotgun T setup. 3 running backs. Camera experiments, but I'm all for that. That's fine with me. Go blue tomorrow. EJ, big fella in the truck down there, he'll like that, definitely. And the Ox back here doing the camera work, who we don't see because he's on the camera, he'll like that as well. Go blue. Anyway, first and 15, 45-yard line, Sterling Heights. They show blitz. Give to Tyler Hughes. Check that Darian Hack. He's up, he's down, brings up second down. The Sterling Heights coaches clapping over that one. Loss of a yard, and that brings up second down. Well, apparently the Huskies are participating tonight in a Wounded Warriors program, and if you're wondering why the Huskies are in black uniforms, that would be why this evening. Normally they're in like a dark blue, but tonight it's more of a black, and they've got some names on the back of their uniforms tonight, some special names of who they're playing for as a tribute to these these great people in the Wounded Warriors Project. So that'd be why they're in complete black tonight. I kind of like the looks of their uniforms, to be honest. Second down, 16. Tyler Hughes, immediate give, up and down after a short gain, maybe 3, and that'll bring up third down. Everybody's in here tonight. Dropping cameras, picking them up. One guy, then another guy. How you doing? It's not the Ox anymore up here. Don't even know him. I think that's Brandon Wright who picked up the camera just now. They're in, they're out. They got cameras in their hand 1 minute, they don't the next. Adjusting to the new wide lens camera, apparently. Even the big D's up here adjusting to that one. I barely even know how to spell camera, let alone to know how one works. Anyway, third down and long. Big play here for the Huskies. Back to pass, Goulding, looking, firing long, deep, and hit the ground first before Kotsko could adjust to that one. Incomplete. Flag first, and we'll see what this is. More than likely holding against the Huskies. Again, Huskies led by quarterback number 2, Alex Johns-Moore, starting quarterback, but a knee injury. Apparently, he had an MRI done on Thursday, and the results couldn't have been good because he is not back. Again, number 9, Blake Goulding on the field right now. He's going to start tonight for the Huskies, or he already has anyway at the quarterback position. Again, he's not the rushing quarterback that Johns-Moore is, so the Huskies may not be as successful on the run with Goulding, but Goulding has proven in past weeks he can get some yards in the air, so we'll see. He came in last week and had a couple of big throws. That's nice to see. By the way, penalty a moment ago on the Huskies declined by Sterling Heights, and that will force Northern to punt this football away. Standing about his own 44, Kotsko steps into the punt, almost blocked. Gets it up, beautiful kick, a little too far, rolls in the end zone, and Sterling Heights will get the ball on the 20. Just to finish up, one more note on the Husky offense. 1-2 on the season this year under Goulding thus far. 30 Darian Hack, he has a carry so far. Number 8 Tyler Hughes, they'll both get carries from the tailback position. Debo, of course, made his return last week. And again, our Port Huron Northern Huskies 2-3 overall and 1-1 in the MAC Blue. I should also mention wideout, of course, number 10, last but not least, Quinn Kotsko. Excellent all-around talent. Gets rushing yards, receiving yards, returning yards, and even kicking yards. And I'll say this right now, in order for this Husky team to have the finish to this season they hope for, Quinn Kotsko must stay healthy. He must. He must play well every game. He's the leader, their best player, so that's the kind of pressure that will indeed make him thrive, and the Huskies thrive. That penalty on Sterling Heights, Huskies going to get the football back, a huge play early going, and Huskies want a break. That might be it. Hack up the middle, got a couple. Flag first. So we'll see what this is all about. Again, how you doing, Derek Wark? Big D. Being big is a state of mind. Even on a night like this, it's wet, it's rainy, it's blowing like crazy. I said last week I was bragging. I was loving it. It was great football weather. That gives you an idea right there of how cold those poor people are out there. But they're loving it because they're braving it. They got blankets, they got hoodies, they got everything. I have a heater, a fan heater, so I'm happy. No complaints up here yet. 1st and 10, 38, option pitch. They wrap up Hack, they down Hack. Sterling Heights coaches love it. Loss of 4, option pitch there by Goulding. An offensive setup that we've grown accustomed to during the past decade of Husky football. Last year, of course, they were wide open. They were run and gun. They were spread offense. Lost a lot of personnel due to graduation. Last week with Johns-Moore, they lined up in a shotgun T look, as mentioned. Tonight, different quarterback, a bit of a different look to their offense. 3 wide near side, 1 far side, and 1 tailback as we begin this time. 2nd down and 22 from the 44. 7 and 10 ticks to go first quarter. Still no score. Coming off the big penalty, Sterling Heights, for I believe what was roughing the kicker. Hack up 39-yard line. Might have been Hughes, actually. Check that. Number 8, Tyler Hughes on the carry. Well, there you see us. Am I the only one with the light on? Well, there's another one over there to the right. I think that's the coaching staff. of Sterling Heights over there. A couple of the coordinators to my left, to your right on screen. 3rd down and 20 from the 39. Shotgun look again. Goulding sets, steps up, throws deep. Kotsko over the head, and he had the corner beat there. Couldn't quite make the play, slightly overthrown, and that brings up 4th down. And it is very, very hard through this. Well, I got to be honest with you. The dirtiest window I've ever witnessed in the Big D's history of dirty windows. So it's going to be hard tonight to read these Sterling Heights numbers through the window. I have to have the window across because I'm freezing in here, but I think that was 15 over there doing the pass coverage there, Ryan Cook. Guess they haven't heard of Mr. Clean around here. 4th down and 20. They're going for it. Goulding, airing it out deep again. Kotsko this time has a step right in his hands. Touchdown, Huskies. Going once, going twice. Kotsko 3 times. Touchdown, Huskies. Well, he missed him once, and there was no genius behind that play call. Coach Connell and his staff simply said, he missed him this time. What do we have to lose? 4th down and 20. Let's try it again. And they got it. Kotsko doesn't miss many, and he adjusted on the fly to that pass. Placed down, extra point try. Barely, no good. So Kotsko misses, but the main thing is the Huskies are on the board. And after a few minutes gone by, almost half the first quarter, 6:19 to go. Huskies 6-0 over Sterling Heights. Here you see it again. Perfect pass, had the time. Stride for stride, Kotsko right in his hands. Beautiful. And again, sometimes you go immediately back to the previous play because the defense sometimes doesn't expect that because you just went to the same guy. But Kotsko's not your everyday player. And again, he's the best player on the Huskies. It's no big secret. You keep going with what gets you here, with what gets you wins. And he's the biggest single key with Johns Moore out to this Huskies year because he's the one weapon that they've got that can put points on the board in a big hurry. They do have some good backs in Hack and Hughes, but again, it's a short yardage offense without Kotsko. He makes it go. Johns Moore, the other key ingredient, again, out. I'm not sure how long it is. I think a serious knee injury with the amount of pain that he was in there last week. Of course, I don't get a lot of information told to me up here, so I more or less read about it and get it that way. But I read MRI done Thursday on Johns Moore, and after that, it's anyone's guess up here. But that's a big, big loss because of his great running. Last week, some great runs on the right side. We'll get to that a little bit later. And a 34-14 dominating win last week over Utica. Quinn Kotsko, this man about to kick this one off. Big part of that. Let's get Husky. Port Huron Northern. Kickoff. Bobbled 5-yard line end zone. And they'll get it on the 20 when Sterling Heights comes out with the football. Sterling Heights head coach Brent Widows claims his team a little undersized, but he believes they're a pretty decent team. You wouldn't know it yet. 0-5 overall, 0-2 in the MAC Blue. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they're 0 for their last 16 football games. That, folks, is almost 2 full seasons of football. This team has not won a game. So, again, ripe for the picking, but you kind of get a sense they've got more talent than they let on. I thought so against the Big Reds, but what do you do? That Big Red team just blew them away, and they were just overmatched in that one. Anyway, they begin on offense. We'll talk about them in just a moment. 1st and 10 from the 20. Wrapped up, brought down immediately. Immediate give. Running back Derek Waters. Minimal gain brings up 2nd down. Again, we saw them lose pretty badly a few weeks ago. 37-0 to the amazing Big Reds. But Sterling Heights, 5 starters returned from last season on both offense and defense. In my opinion, this team failed miserably against the Big Reds due to terrible special teams on basic, simple techniques, such as, your long snapping on punts. And that was key in that game because they turned the ball over 3 times in that game. And if it happens again, they're doomed. I hope it doesn't for their sake because they played themselves right out of that Big Red game in the early going, basically because they couldn't long snap the ball in their punts. Something that should never happen ever in a football game. That's why you practice it so often in practice. You take the reps, you take the snaps because you have to. Basic fundamentals. Anyway, number 3, Josh Hines leads the offense at quarterback. He's got some ability, but he's got to play mistake-free for any chance to win this game, I believe. Mistake-free, really, as mentioned. Something this team really has not been through the first 5 weeks. Replay the last play, straight up and again straight down. Huskies jumped to that one right off the line pretty quickly. 23, Deontay Dixon, the leading wideout on this football team. First down carry this time, yes, move the sticks. Sterling Heights gets a first down on that one. Again, their numbers very tough for me to read through the dirty window. 23, Deontay Dixon on the carry. I just called him leading wideout on the team. Blocking up front, led by 72, Delonte Sullivan. At guard, Cashola, Brian Cashola, 52 at center. Wideout number 9 is Dantes Oliver. Also up there, Kenny Perry, number 66. Also a fine defensive tackle on the other side of the football for Sterling Heights. 4.5 ticks to go, first quarter, 6-0 Huskies. Derek Work, Big D, CPHS, Channel 6. Running formation on 1st and 10. Play fake, kind of a spin, kind of turnaround. And got a few on it. That'll bring up second down. In the game they played against the Big Reds, I actually felt sorry for the quarterback number 3, Josh Hines, because of the fact that he had no time to do anything. Big Reds were all over Sterling Heights. They blitzed all game long. And to see Sterling Heights even move the ball at all was something that, believe it or not, folks, I mean, you think I'm just talking? I am not just talking. Sterling Heights in that game barely moved the football at all against Port Huron. Second down and 7 from the 37. They send the man in motion. Pitch back. That's a live football. They jump on it. I think the Huskies have it. They do. And me sitting here saying that Sterling Heights has got to play mistake-free, there you go. And it's something as simple as a pitch back. I tell you, option football right now is not working in this game. If you choose to do that set play, you've got to be sure of the pitch back. Well, that's just taking your eyes off the ball. Really. Looking up before you get it. And the first thing you've got to do is make sure you have the ball in your hands before you cut up field. Or the option is just going to... I mean, that's a live football when you pitch back. That is a dangerous play. And there you can see the dangers of it. From the 31, 1st and 10 now. Blake Goulding sacked hard. And the offensive backfield met almost immediately by the guy I just mentioned, 66th, Kenneth Perry. And he is a load. Well, that must not have felt very good if you're Blake Goulding. That's a big guy, that Kenny Perry. That's a good job. Here you see the replay. Met immediately, and that's one of those where you fail to block the defensive end. From the 35, 1st and 15. Clock continues to run. Should be a quick game from that respect. Because it's wet, you run the ball a lot because it's wet. Goulding again, going deep again to Kotsko. Caught Kotsko. Touchdown, Huskies. That's what I said has to happen for Husky success. You've got to go to Kotsko. And they keep doing it, and it's working. And you know what? Until Sterling Heights adjusts, you keep doing it. And it could get to the point of where if you don't have 2 defenders on Kotsko, you're asking for trouble. You let somebody else besides him beat you on this Husky team. You have to. That shows you right there, though, how important it is for Sterling Heights to be mistake-free. Not just turnovers, points off the turnovers. Extra point, good. There you have it. 13-0 Huskies, just like that. 2:48 to go in the first. CPHS, Channel 6. And the replay of that last one. Again, shotgun formation. They like to throw it with Blake Goulding. Again, as mentioned, not really the running quarterback that Johns Moore was, but look at this. Certainly is not afraid to air it out to his main man, number 10. 13-0. Again, football greetings, folks. Derek Work, the Big D in the booth. kind of feeling sorry in a way for Sterling Heights, but haven't won a game in a while. If they can just stop turning the ball over, goodness. They did it 3 or 4 times in the Big Red game. Already once in this game, and it's not even the end of the first quarter, so they've still got work to do by the looks of things, and to the Huskies, ultimately satisfying. Kotsko has both touchdowns and 1 extra point thus far. Here he goes again off the kickoff. Let's get Husky, Port Huron. That one out of bounds, I believe. Now they're calling it a touchback. Okay. Ball coming out to the 20. Thought it might have a chance of being started on the 40-yard line. Thought that ball went out of bounds first, but it didn't. Well, the Big Reds in Lance Cruise tonight. Huskies trying to go 3-3. Big Reds trying to go 6-0. Our Port Huron football teams as the big rivalry week, 2 weeks away. Looking forward to that one, especially if we can get the Huskies more victories here. Playoff implications, that game this year, wow. From the 20, 1st and 10. Again, running formation, immediate give, and Huskies get there pretty quick, down them pretty quick. Good solid tackle, adjusting to get over there was Rodney Maas. Well, the Huskies defensively, really they're led by their defensive backs. 44, James Glombowski. 21, Hunter Potter. 28, Ben Haynes, a fine corner in his own right. Also 30, the Debo, Darian Hack. He really sets the tempo as far as I'm concerned from the back half as we have a timeout here. In that Hack, he's quick, not afraid to pop you one, and he's a senior leader back there, and that's, can't say enough about those kind. Should also mention I like linebacker number 14, Colin Christensen as well. Well, Husky head coach Pat Connell claimed earlier this week that despite the team's 2-3 start, still a very confident football team. And I hate to say it sounds like a broken record because he basically says that every week, but I really do believe that. I mean, this is a team that didn't have much success until Coach Connell came, and no matter what offensive setup you're running, he came in and really established himself last season, really got the defense especially hungrier. This is not a team that is known for offensive gurus or great setting up, great play calling, but the one thing that they give you now is physical play, and the kids seem a lot happier, and they owe Coach Connell for that one. They're just having a great time now, whereas previous years that just wasn't the case in Huskyville. Handoff, quarterback keeper 3, Hines, tackled immediately. Sterling Heights still having trouble moving the football. Timeout on the field again. Huskies, 2:21 to go in the first. 13-0, Port Huron Northern. Derek Wark, Big D, CPHS, Channel 6. Well, on the season, stat-wise, for the Huskies now, well, there you see some of the camera people. There's the Ox. Are you eating on the job, Ox? He's eating on the job. Is that acceptable? Yeah, his answer, I'll just keep eating. Well, that's great. Miss Desmond, I believe, to his right as well. 2 excellent camera operators, CPHS Channel 6. Anyway, my thought before that, on the season stat-wise, the Huskies averaging just 15.8 scoring points a game, but they're giving up 20 per game. But again, the start they had really kind of brought those stats not in their favor. They were 1-2 to start the year. Third down and 9 from the 24-yard line. Coming off the timeout, Sterling Heights operates. Darian Hack showing blitz. Now he follows the man instead. Pitch back, tripped up immediately. That's a nice open field tackle, number 11, Micah Moore of the Huskies. Offense predictable for Sterling Heights, and a 4th down, they're going to have to punt, and we'll see how the long snapping can go here. As I said, been a bit of a on-the-job training for them this season. Mac Blue games left for the Huskies this season. Anchor Bay next week and Port Huron High the week after. Both games, obviously, for the Huskies at home. Well, if that's offside on the Huskies, that would be a first down for Sterling Heights, so we'll have to wait and see here. Huskies pointing to the Sterling Heights side. On a cold, cold Friday evening. I'm warm up here in the booth. That's all that counts for me. Maybe not for you, but for me it does. I'm happy to have a heater, I'll tell you that. Well, penalty is offside against Sterling Heights. That pushes them back. Now standing at his own 5-yard line to punt this one off. Sterling Heights. It's partially blocked. There you see special teams problems again. Sterling Heights downs the football at their own 26-yard line. Huskies tremendous field position yet again. And these special teams woes, they continue for the Stallions. Listen to this stat. You want kind of a rough stat. Sterling Heights has been outscored 80-6 in MAC Red play and a whopping 182-40 overall. Well, not much you can really say about that one. That gives you kind of an idea what it's like. You see that tree up there on the left? Really blowing. Kind of a dark, dismal evening. Well, of course it's going to be dark, nighttime, but raining all day long. Last Friday night, too, it was raining all day, and then it kind of just stopped. And we had actually great football weather afterwards. You see that PFC Birch on the back of the shirt of Blake Goulding there, number 9? That means he's playing in memory of U. Grant Birch III as part of the Wounded Warriors program tonight for the Huskies. And I'll see if I can name a few more of those as the game goes along. Final 59 seconds, first quarter of play. Again, 13-0 Huskies. Shotgun look again. Airing it out again, deep left sidelines, and overthrows Sufis, intended receiver there. While Goulding continues to air the ball out and airs it out deep on simple fly patterns. There's nothing special about what these wideouts are doing. They're going straight down the football field. Goulding's throwing it as far as he can, and they're just adjusting to the football. And they figure it's worked twice with Kotsko. We'll see if it can work with Sufis. Expect them to try that a lot today, I think. Especially up 13. You've got nothing to lose at this stage of the football game. Third down 11 from the 27. We were getting groovy there for a minute. Some funky music came on and then left. I don't know what was up with that, but I'm not dancing. Third down and 11 over the middle and in and out of the hands of intended receiver number 12, Jackson Langolf. He had a big touchdown last week. Got up, wanted a flag, didn't get it. Again, Johnsmore went down last week. Looked like a really painful injury for that kid. Not just your average quarterback, because he was the biggest single runner from the offensive backfield offensively for the Big Reds. Here you see Blake Goulding. And Sterling Heights showing blitz from the linebacker position. Goulding just that extra little second to step up. Oh, that was just a good pass. That's in and out of his hands. That's got to be caught, really. But Langolf has demonstrated he's got a lot of ability too. I mean, as mentioned, that touchdown last week, so he'll have another chance in this game. A couple of them, more than likely. And yet another timeout being used by the Huskies here. Their second timeout. So yet another break in the action. Again, if you're wondering, fourth start of the season for Blake Goulding of the Huskies. Well, there you see me, the Big D, Derek Ork, and first quarter, what I expected really from the Huskies. Huskies all over them, and Sterling Heights, really when it rains it pours. What can you do? This team has not won in a while, but again, special teams mistakes, it kills you. That's all that I can really say about that. But again, nice to see Blake Goulding getting into the action, and what did I say? Quinn Kotsko has got to be effective early and often, and they're using him. And that's big key. Big key to the whole season, really, for the Huskies. Got to use number 10. He's your best player. Go to him. And they have, and look, success. Some of the coaching staff there of Port Huron Northern. And the sidelines, that's number 34 there on the side to Justin Moore. 4th and 11 Are they going to put this down for a field goal try? They are. Quinn Kotsko from 45. 45 yards. This is a big-time kick at this level. 45-yard attempt for 10. High snap, placed down, kick, up. He has the distance. Kicked it through. Quinn Kotsko from 45. I just mentioned him. You know what? He's a special player. Notwithstanding the fact that he already is a great talent offensively. But when you can kick 45ers at this level, I mean, there you go. He's doing it all. Here's the replay. It looked like they might have partially got a hand on it. It's through. Wow. How about that? You don't see kicks from that far back very often at this level, but particularly with the wind blowing tonight. Keep in mind, though, for what it's worth, and I don't want to take anything from number 10, either does that Husky character right there. He loves number 10, and his whole team for that matter. But you know what? The wind, and I look at the U.S. flag across from me, the Husky sidelines, across from the stands over there. It is blowing towards that side. So Coach Connell smartly sees that Kotsko has the wind. Well, that's to the right. That's to my right. Flag, of course, at half-mast for the Wounded Warriors program. But the flag directly in front of me, behind the stands, is really blowing hard towards where Kotsko was kicking, to that side of the field. So one of the big reasons why he nailed that. But great leg, Quinn, great leg. Who was it who put it so appropriately? You've not seen nothing like the mighty Quinn. How about it? Manfred Mann in the 70s. Well, it certainly holds true tonight. Memorial Stadium. That was kind of a line shot kickoff. Let's get Husky, Port Huron. And off the kick. Not a bad return, actually, for Sterling Heights. They get to their own 38-yard line. There you see the flag right there that I'm talking about. It's raining. You can kind of see right at the top of that flag the rain. But you see where that flag's blowing? Left side, that's where Kotsko was kicking to. Smart man, Coach Connell. He knew all about that. Same reason why when they go the other way, he will not have him line up for that one. So the wind is a bigger factor than people give credit for in football games. That's it after one, complete from Memorial Stadium. Huskies got to be loving it right now off the win last week. Looking good again. Huskies 16, Sterling Heights, the Goose Egg, unhappy. Derek Wark, the Big D, I'm always happy. CPHS Channel 6, back with a second in a moment. Second quarter from Memorial Stadium. And again, Derek Wark, the Big D, CPHS, Channel 6, the Port Huron Area School District television station. Huskies on top, 16-0 over visiting Sterling Heights. 0 for 5 visiting Sterling Heights at that. 0-2 in the MAC Blue. Huskies trying to become a 500 football team again. 2-3 currently. They'll be 3-3 if they win tonight. There you see the CPHS Channel 6 banner and the boom mic. Not a lot to be booming about over there. Not a lot of fans here on the Sterling Heights side. That's where we are, by the way. From the 38, 1st and 10. Tripped up nicely. I believe he was even pushed from behind. Number 11 there, Micah Moore. Considering he was pushed from the back, that's a pretty good tackle, really. I believe 3 on the carry again. Josh Hines, perhaps. Again, very, very difficult right now to see through this window. I should get this window wiped at halftime. I can't see the Sterling Heights numbers. It is that bad. It is that dusty. Second down carry should be close to the sticks this time. 31. I don't have him listed. Couldn't have been 31 on that one. Dirty player almost got a first down there. Timeout again. And I think we have some clock issues here. It still says 0. Well, second quarter has begun. Here you see the last play. They're having some clock trouble. Maybe the cold, I'm not sure. It's a fine tackle there. I believe number 33, Brian Steele, the man of steel, made that one. Well, on getting the start tonight, Blake Goulding, quarterback of the Huskies, claimed, "I was nervous before the first game of the year, and also before the second and third games, but I'm more confident right now. Alex and I," of course referring to Alex Johns Moore, "Alex and I work with our receivers on pass routes and timing daily. I've got in a lot of extra reps. I have no problem running with the ball, but I'm not real big or fast." Well, you're honest, Blake. I'll give you that one. But so far, so good for you, man. You've done a great job. Resetting the clock for the quarter now. Oh, here we go. So either that was a timeout a minute ago or that wasn't the end of the quarter. It was that simple. I thought it was. Immediate carry, third down and short. Sterling Heights. Right at midfield, got it, first down. Joshua Hines, the simple quarterback keeper. And did I fake the boys out in the truck down there? Did I say it was the end of the first quarter and it wasn't? Huh. Maybe. Not sure. Maybe a timeout. But either way, a very good first quarter for the Huskies. They did everything they wanted to, and it was very, very important, I said this earlier, to get Quinn Kotzko established, but not just that, to get the connection of Goulding and Kotzko going. Because without Johns Moore, who really was their starting quarterback this season, Blake Goulding might not have seen a lot of snaps, might not have seen a lot of time. Very important, knowing he's not the great running quarterback, or so he says there, being not real big and not real fast, as Blake said. Obviously, his main element is the pass, and he certainly has demonstrated that so far. So if that is a new offense to the Huskies without so much quarterback keeping, quarterback running, well, there you see they've come out and they've done their strength with Goulding at the helm. The thing about Johns Moore, too, and I said this last week, he's a real tough kid. A real hard-nosed runner. First and long here, by the way, coming off the penalty, Sterling Heights. But Johns Moore, if you're a QB and you run, you've got to go down. That was a kid who just was not willing to go down. He wanted to fight hard. And it really says something for him as a tough kid. It really says something for your team saying, "No problem, guys, I'm your leader. I'll get him. I don't fear any tackles. I don't fear the skirmishes. I'll get him." But sooner or later, injuries do happen to those kind of players. And he was a talent. And I just hope he can come back in this season. Here's a carry on first. Not too much. Got one, maybe two tops. Good defense, Huskies. 23 the carry. Sterling Heights, Deontay Dixon. Again, congratulations again to number 10, Quinn Kotzko, making the Port Huron Times-Herald's top 25 list of best players in the Blue Water area. A big honor for him. Certainly. I think he only got in the teens. I think he was 18th. Which, you know, you sit there and you look at that and you go, are that many players in this area better than number 10? Well, as long as he's on the list, that's fine. It's a great honor to make that list, the Port Huron Times-Herald. But 10 is a talented player, no doubt about it. Husky defense doing the job again, shutting down yet another team just like they did to Utica last week. Very hard-hitting game, I thought, last week, too, which we're going to talk about here in just a moment's time. Keeper to the outside, going to keep it the whole way, but nothing doing. Big Reds ride him hard to the outside. 10 on the carry. Jacob Hines pushed out. 40 got over there quickly. Gage Nowachuk. Playing in honor of Robert Reel tonight. There you see on his back, CPL Reel, as the Huskies all playing for the Wounded Warriors program tonight. Should see if I can find in my information here what exactly that's all about. Well, the Northern football team incredibly proud to participate in that program, the Wounded Warriors. It's specifically designed to help service men and women who have suffered injuries in combat situations. So there you go. That's excellent. That's great. Glad to be a part of that tonight. And that's why the Huskies also, if you're wondering, are wearing the black uniforms tonight as well. Here's a reverse, and it works. Look out. Sterling Heights down the sidelines. 2015 didn't step out to the 5. Touchdown, Sterling Heights. Did that one ever throw the Huskies off guard? 23 on the handoff from the wideout being the reverse. Deontay Dixon, touchdown, Stallions. In 5 quarters thus far, I have not seen this. I have not seen Sterling Heights put any points on the board. Well, I have now. In a big, big way. Excellent play call, and it fooled the Huskies. And you know what? That's the one advantage. I've talked about this in weeks past, where if you're going to kind of bore the other team with basic play calls, basic little runs to the right or the left, you come back with a reverse, they're thrown off guard because they're sleeping on the basic play. Sterling Heights wants timeout. I think they're going to go for 2 here and try to cut the Husky lead down to a 1-possession football game. 9:38 to go. Second quarter, 16-6. Huskies on top of visiting Sterling Heights Stallions. Again, CPHS Channel 6. 9:38, time on the second quarter clock. And pretty decent game by the Huskies thus far, but they've got to be careful. Proof right there that the big play can get teams right back into a football game very quickly. And the Big Reds, they're the masters of the big play. I mean, Mark Chapman last week had a 90-yard run, an 89-yard run. I mean, they're a phenomenal team. The Huskies, though, when they get to that game against the Big Reds, I think they can be in that game. Johns Moore in that game would give them a much better chance. But here's the thing, okay? That's a big play, Big Red team. As the Huskies, that's got to be a concern, giving that play right there up to Sterling Heights. And you know the Big Reds are going to be watching tape on that. The Huskies have got to limit big plays and get used to not limiting big plays if you're going to win that Big Red game in 2 weeks. Easier said than done, believe me. 2-point conversion attempt. High snap. Good job to adjust, but he's downed. 11 got him. Opening a cup of shut up. Micah Moore. So the score remains 16-6. Huskies by 10 and now more than 1 possession. Derek Wark, Big D, CPHS Channel 6. And while there is a break in the action, I'll tell you about my blog at bigdsports.info, www.bigdsports.info. I like to write up about the games I call play-by-play here for CPHS Channel 6. To kind of tell you about the players and how good they were in the games and what I thought of the games too. And last time the Sterling Heights Stallions were here, I stated the obvious on the blog. Snapping, miscues, you saw one right there. Turnovers, all the rest. Actually, nice to see Sterling Heights get on the board. Just to say they put points on the scoreboard here at Memorial Stadium in 2011. But yeah, bigdsports.info. Derek Wark, the Big D. And I write about the games that I see these kids play. And I enjoy doing it because I've always said it for years. These kids don't get enough credit for how good some of them are. Like number 10, Quinn Kotsko. For those of you that don't see this kid play on a regular basis, well, read about him because I promise you I'll do a good job on telling you all about him. Why? Because I'm here at the games, baby. That's why. Let's get nasty again, Port Huron Northern here in just a minute. But first, the ball falls off the tee. You expect that on windy days like this. And that shows you right there. I was mentioning earlier the wind and the U.S. flag over there blowing like crazy. Blew the ball right off the tee right there. So, again going once and going twice. Kickoff this time. Ball stays on the tee this time. Sterling Heights kicking it back to Northern. Let's get Husky, Port Huron. Taken at the 25. Stumbles a bit to the 30. Up 35 and out of bounds 35. That's better by Sterling Heights this time. Getting to the ball a little quicker. Coming off their touchdown. Maybe some momentum for them. Michael Adore. There you see this sidelines. And not real excited. They're cold, they're wet, and they're troopers for being here in the first place as far as I'm concerned. That's under an umbrella, and rightfully so, because anybody not under an umbrella tonight, you're taking a bit of a risk. Goulding from shotgun as Huskies begin this next drive on 1st and 10 from the 35. 9 and 31 ticks to go in the second. Well, they set this one up to kind of fake the handoff with Tyler Hughes lead blocker. Goulding had to do this very quickly. He had to throw it quickly, quick release, and he tried to get it quickly to Jackson Langolf over the middle, number 12, almost picked off. Really because of where they're lined up there. Sterling Heights got good penetration from the line. And when you do that and you're not lined up back there as far as he was on previous plays, as I said, they've been shotgun for a lot of the quarter. Not lined up real far back that time. They had the blocking, but Sterling Heights did a good job of getting by the Husky offensive line. Here they come again on the blitz. Goulding, play fake, sacked. And now look out, because now you're starting to see a momentum swing. It's only a 10-point game right now. This is where teams like Sterling Heights become extra dangerous, because at 0-5 and 0 for their last 16 games, they become a dangerous team, because at 0-5 you figure they've basically got very little to play for. Nothing to lose, right? This right here, for that reason, is a very, very big play right now for the Huskies. There you see the light tower. Raining off and on here tonight. Very wet field, slippery, cold. Back to pass Goulding on 3rd and 12. Hit as he throws, incomplete. And decked hard, too, at that. And the Huskies are going to have to punt. While Sterling Heights basically is blitzing more often now, and they have clearly figured out that Blake Goulding get in his face a little bit and we might have some defensive success. Well, they did on that series, certainly. That shows you what a pass rush can truly do. Standing his own 21, Kotsko gonna keep it. Look out, open field. Hustles to the 40, 45, first down, and more for Quinn Kotsko on the punt fake. Kotsko down to the 30. Open field, 25-20, 15-10-5, adios, touchdown. Quinn Kotsko again. Well, right when Sterling Heights has something great going for them, there's number 10. Wow. In a word, wow. And that was a play that they executed last week. I believe it was a penalty flag called back. Kotsko just flat out took off with the football on a fake punt. Not even really a fake, he just takes off with it. If he sees an open lane, he doesn't hesitate. And really, it's a lot to ask of a player after a long run like that. He went 80 yards from where he was standing. And he just took it the whole way. But a lot to ask to kick that extra point try after you run for 80 from where he was. 23-6. Huskies on top. Here you see it. They snapped it from about the 31, so that right there, folks, a 69-yard rush, touchdown, Kotsko. There you see, they can't get over there in time. As the defender, really, he's not fast enough to get to Kotsko in the first place. And there you see, there's just too many Huskies. Look at all the Huskies upfield. And they're actually running with Kotsko. There's 4 men right there. I mean, he's not even needing blocks at that point. He got down and around, and basically what I was going to say, if you're a defender in that situation, I say it every single week, you have to run on an angle. You've got to get to the sidelines and know where the sticks are before Kotsko does, especially in that situation where it's 4th down. You stop him, boom, you get the ball right there. You cannot allow Kotsko to get around sideline like that. You cannot. You at least have to make him cut upfield. And they didn't get there in time. They tried to catch him off guard with a squib kick. Well, good hands at the 40, down to the 40. Huskies trying to wrestle around for the football there, but right smack dab 40-yard line. 23 ended up with that one. Deontay Dixon jumped on the football for the Sterling Heights Stallions, and they'll get it back. They're actually marking it at the 39. I don't think that's a real kind mark. Oh, now they put it to the 40. All right. Down right about there. That's where Sterling Heights will begin. Great game, Huskies, so far. Here you see the replay, and look at the open gap. This is exactly what I'm talking about. If he sees this opening, he's just going to take off because there's no defenders there. And look at how he gets to the outside. The defender cannot catch him because he can't get to the sidelines before him. And he cuts up there, but he cuts up too late. As a defender, you make him cut earlier. You cannot let him use the side. Because you got to think, if he's cutting that ball, then you're doing your job. You're stopping him on the sidelines. But then if he cuts, at least you can say, well, I have more of my team in the center of the football field than I do on the sidelines. And that's my point there. Derek Work, Big D, CPHS Channel 6. Good job on the camera tonight. Right on. Thumbs up, he says. I think the camera got that thumbs up, too. Anyway, again, CPHS Channel 6. What can you say about the Big Reds so far? Quinn Kotsko, number 10. I said they have to use him. They've used him. Look at the results. I mean, that play right there is spectacular. And he kind of is a great secondary option with Johnsmore out. Now he's the primary option. But the fact that they've lost Johnsmore speaks volumes for number 10. I talk about him a lot because he's the biggest single key to the Huskies for the rest of this season. 2nd down and 8. Flagged first. Well, that's a jump there. Sterling Heights offside, pushing them back. Going to be 2nd down and long. And I was just informed I keep calling the Huskies the Big Reds. Well, what do you say? You know? I apologize to them, but you know what? That's what happens when your schedules the Huskies for the first 4 games of the year away from home. So you get used to saying Big Reds, Big Reds, Big Reds. And then all of a sudden the Huskies come back to Memorial Stadium and here you go. But I'm happy so far with their output, certainly. And the output of number 10, Quinn Kotsko. 23, Deontay Dixon, the carry. All over him, though. Among players on that tackle, Brian Steele. Playing for 33 himself, but also playing for Michael Brown tonight in the Wounded Warriors program, as you saw the black jersey and also the name on the back, Michael Brown. For Brian Steele. 3rd down and long. Again, I apologize for those of you who have been watching this one for a while now. It is not the Big Reds out here. It is the Huskies tonight. And if you're wondering why the Huskies are in black, the black attack tonight, well, again, it's the Wounded Warriors program. That is also why I should also mention the flag is at half-mast tonight. They're going to get pass interference for this one. And it's on Darian Hack. I don't know if Hack just hit him too early or if he kind of slipped and fell. It looked like he slipped first. That gives you an idea right there as you see Coach Connell giving him a high five for the Huskies. Rain galore. Right there. That's a great indication. Sometimes the camera doesn't always pick up the rain. It certainly does there. Well, the pass interference call. Again, I don't know if Hack slipped. It looked like he did. 1st down, Sterling Heights. Again, Huskies last week, very convincing win over the Utica Chieftains of the Mac White. They blew them out, 34-14. Very hard-hitting game to say the least. Huskies started hitting hard. They were vocal and they taunted Utica, who answered the physical play in the second half. But I remember saying up here in the booth, too little, too late. And where was it? They were yelled at halftime, you could tell, but it was just too little, too late at that time. 27-0 at the half. It's going to do that for you. Sterling Heights, a lot of play fakes and everything else in the offensive backfield, but They're just not getting much in the way of yardage. But you see how they're doing that? They did that against the Big Reds. And they were just baffled all day long. They did not have time. They have a little bit of time here tonight to do some things. But if you have an attacking defense, a real defense that's going to get to the quarterback quickly, you can't afford to be dancing around like that. You've got to readjust your offense to do quick outs, quick snaps, quick releases. Option football does not work against a quick defense that comes to get you. I'm not saying that they're running option every play here, but option type, playing around in the offensive backfield. You can't afford to do that against certain teams. And I think that's really been the case with Sterling Heights for a lot of this season. Anyway, we have a timeout on the field here. 5:56 to go in the second. 23-6. Huskies on top of the Sterling Heights Stallions. Alex Johns-Moore last week, 8 for 17, 73 passing yards and 1 interception. He had 195 on the ground before exiting the game with what might just be a season-ending injury. Now, I don't want to jump the gun, and I don't want to jinx you, Alex, because what can I tell you? You're a sensational football player, but I got to tell it like it is. MRI done Thursday. We can only cross our toes and our fingers, and for those of you that might be able to cross your tongue, cross that too for Alex. Whatever it takes to get that guy back on the football field. 2nd and 9 from the 46. Play fake. The Huskies buy it. QB bootleg. 35, 34, maybe 33. First down and more. Sterling Heights. Brian Steele, I believe, among tacklers over there, along with number 11, Micah Moore, playing in memory of David Moore this evening. I tell you, he's been really active. A name I haven't mentioned a lot so far this season. This is number 11's best game for the Huskies. He's all over the place. He really is. Early candidate for defensive player of the game, perhaps. .548 to go in the second. There you see the replay. Yeah, Moore got in there to mix it up. Not before a first down, though. You saw the bootleg. And the Huskies all went left. That bootleg right, that's what got the first down. It wasn't because of excessive speed from Hines, but that could actually be the other Hines, the brother, Jacob Hines. Of course, Josh Hines, the starter. This was to be the same play that got them the touchdown earlier. The reverse, but immediate handoff. He decided to cut that straight up. And that play is not designed for that, but the Husky D adjusted to that play, and that's what made that possible for the, I believe, really short gain. Maybe 1 yard tops, if that, brings up 2nd down and long. You can't keep doing reverses all game long either. It was one of those plays where if Sterling Heights runs that same play over and over again, I bet you at this stage against the Huskies, you get that maybe twice out of 10. I should also mention, despite the fact that this is a rebroadcasted football game tonight, good luck Detroit Tigers against the Yankees tonight in the playoffs. How about that? From the 35, 2nd and 12. No can do. Brought down, sacked by guess who? 11. Micah Moore. Loving it. Where did this guy come from? He's cleaned his claws all week for the Huskies. How about it? That is a huge loss of yards. A whole horde of tacklers were over there for the Huskies, by the way, to make that sack. 3rd down and, well, they say 12 on the scoreboard. Looks like close to, 18? Yeah, there you go. There you see. They're not buying the pitch back. And the reason they didn't buy that there is because it's not like they're not used to seeing that. That's where variety in an offense is so important. That's why the option didn't work for years for the Huskies. You've got to mix up your play calling or it just doesn't work against a good defense. Timeout on the field. 4:01 to go, 2nd quarter. 23-6. Huskies on top of the Stallions. Big D, Derek Work. Being big is a state of mind, as I like to say. Again on the game last week, Johns-Moore, had a 56 and a 29-yard rushing touchdown in that game. And as I said, his running to the right side, something Utica hardly accounted for in that game, if at all. Right, Ox? Yeah, right? Yeah. Thumbs up, too. Yeah. There's a big Tiger fan, too. I always say go blue when I see him, but he loves the Tigers, too. He's a Tiger fan. Yeah, of course. They should throw him a curveball every now and then. The truck just say, yeah, he's a Yankee fan. Just see what he says. But yeah, pumped up about the Tigers tonight. Go Justin Verlander. Get them. I can't stand Ohio State. They're my most hated team in sports, but it's the Yankees after that. Anyway, back to this one. Handoff. Well, they got a lot of yardage on it. They got about 12 of it back, but it's nowhere near enough. 23 the carry again, Deontay Dixon. I said at the beginning of the broadcast, leading wideout for the Stallions, but no. He's got the majority of the carries tonight for them. Well, Husky wideout, and their player of the year, really, as mentioned, Quinn Costco, 5 for 78 last week. 2 TD receptions. He had a 17-yard touchdown run, a 27-yard touchdown run last week in that one. Here you see just a little bit of a run around left side. Good hole initially. 4th down, 18, QB keeper. That's not going to get it done. Huskies loving it. 21, a nice tackle, open field, Hunter Potter. And the Huskies take over on downs. I would think, though, really, in reality, on a 4th down and long, in a game you're losing 23-6, I would do more with the play calling. And then you say, well, Big D, a playbook is only so big offensively at this level. Yeah, you're right. 3 wideouts on the far side, 1 near side, 1 tailback. Goulding stepping up, pocket, airing it out. Right over the middle of Kotsko. Overthrows him. Pretty good coverage there by Hines, number 3, at midfield. Well, I was never a fan of umbrellas. I don't know why. I always just didn't like the way they looked. They kept you dry, sure, but you know what? I always thought I'll get wet ahead of having an umbrella. But now that I'm older, I think those people are smart. So there you go. That's the difference, I guess, between being young and old. But that gives you an idea about the rain tonight. And it is really raining hard. Wet, cold, rainy, windy. Well, they dropped this one. That's a live football. Jumping on the football. Sterling Heights. Yes. They're going to get it. For what it's worth, though, your play calling is limited because of the weather, too. So perhaps the playbook is cut in half on a night like this. That's possible. And when you do the pitchbacks like that, when you do the deep handoffs, when you do the option plays, the ball obviously has a greater tendency to slip out of your hands. Well, there you see, they just didn't handle it cleanly anyway. I'm not sure if that had to do with the wetness of the ball itself and the wet field or what, but the fumble recovered there by Sterling Heights, and they've got new life again. And here's where they pay for calling all of their timeouts. Huskies 1 timeout left, if you're wondering. From the 26, 1st and 10. Smash, dropped, and it's Husky football. I don't believe it. Sterling Heights immediately got that ball back and immediately turned it right back over again. Shame for them, too, because it was good field position, something that they really needed. Huskies on the prowl again. And as the band plays Ozzy Osbourne's I Am Iron Man. That's a pretty good dance by that cheerleader over there, too. I give that a 9 out of 10. Hammer himself would only be the only one to get a 10 on that groove. Blake Goulding. Screen pass setup. Incomplete. Shows you right there, though, as you saw Tyler Hughes slip. That field's getting slippery now. I could not believe the condition of this football field last week. It rained all day long. And then it let up at football game time. And you're thinking, wow, does this field ever drain well? But today it's been raining all day long, and it's still raining, and this field, it's holding up appearance-wise, but these players are starting to slip a little bit. 2:46 ticks to go. Huskies have come out passing a lot in this game. You can tell that this is Blake Goulding's specialty. Not the take-off and run kind of guy that Johns Moore is. Here's Goulding to the outside this time. He's going to eat the turf, though. They got him. Sack. 22. Boom. Jacob Nishaw. You want to hear an amazing stat about that game last week? Utica, the Chieftains, of course, 34-14. Huskies won. Utica Chieftains, no first downs until the second quarter. The entire first quarter, they had nothing. They didn't even move the sticks once. You think about what great defense that really is by the Huskies. They were just ready for that game. They were. And it's not like Utica was a horrible team. They were only 1-3 coming into that one. But I was really impressed with the overall effort for the Huskies last week. Pat Connell had them ready. And that is not a shocker. His teams are ready a lot. They're ready to come out and play. And they certainly were last week. A minute 40 left in the second quarter. If you're the Huskies right now, you're not real concerned with moving the football as much as you are with moving the clock down. At 23-6, you're up 17. That's 3 possessions. You're just trying to get this clock run down, go into halftime up by a ton. It's homecoming tonight, by the way, for the Huskies, and they really couldn't ask for worse weather. Here's the punt. Big threat to run that football, Kotsko. He did it once tonight. 60-plus yards for a touchdown on the punt. Gets credit for rushing yards on that one and punting yards on this one to the 39. There you go, a minute 2 left in the first half. While Northern as a team last week, 254 yards rushing, passing 125 to 89 for Northern. Total yards in the game, though, listen to this. 379 for Northern to 166 for Utica. But what's great about that stat is 68 of those Utica, 166, came on Utica's final drive of the game, which saw them reach their 14th point, and of course walk-off points, which didn't matter at that time in the game. But you take that 68 away, the Utica Chieftains get under 100 points, yards in that game. Yards 4. So it shows you this Husky D, they come to play as well. And to a man, they'll tell you it's great to be back at Memorial Stadium. 4 wideouts again. Shotgun look. 1st and 10. Here comes the blitz and Micah Moore. Outside. They slip. They fall. Wet field. Jacob Hines. I don't know who on Northern's going to get credit for that sack, but somebody will. And that's a gimme sack there. Those ladies there couldn't keep the hair out of their face. Wind was blowing all over the place. You hate to play football in these conditions. You hate to play any sport in these conditions. Well, really, this is the only sport that would be played in this kind of a night, but Hines the outside. Huskies slip and fall. Hines plenty of time. That one broken up. Very, very upset that he didn't pick it off, I think. Coach Connell loves the effort, though. Look at him over there right in the face of number 6, Adrian Bishop. You know who Bishop reminds me a little bit of? I was thinking about this last week. By the way, Bishop playing tonight for the memory of Shane Reifert as part of the Wounded Warriors program tonight. That's why the Huskies are in black. You know who he reminds me of, though, Adrian Bishop? Kenny Sanders from a season ago. He's built like him. He's fired up like him. He's emotional. Huskies indicating timeout, but I think they backed off. 3rd down. Well, wet field, what do you say? Flag on the play first. I think it's an illegal shift against Sterling Heights. So to summarize this first half of play, welcome to the Quinn Kotsko Show. And that's what I said had to happen in this one, or any week from here on out. Quote the Big D. If the Huskies are going to win, it's got to be number 10's game. It has to be. And he's come out And it shows you the success this team has when he does it. 3 touchdowns, 2 long ones, and 1 long rush on a fake punt that brought the house down. Kotsko 60 plus. Since then, it's been good, solid defense by the Huskies. Clock has stopped again. The final 10 seconds. There you see the homecoming people. Didn't really have the word for that one. I was going to say homecoming guests. And in a way, they are guests. A lot of the fans here tonight. Homecoming. Come back after graduating a year ago and previous years as well, maybe. Always nice to see the older people in these events come back. Proud that they graduated Northern High School. There you go. I can't see themselves having any kind of a big parade or any kind of gala or anything. They're going to announce the homecoming king and queen down there, and that's probably going to be about it. They're lined up actually for the annual kart race, where if Channel 6 will let me, I'll call play-by-play for the kart race if need be. But either way, the kart race is always fun to watch. I actually stay up in the booth to watch it instead of going down there to the truck, which I usually do to say hello at halftime. But I get a kick out of that annual kart race, an annual homecoming tradition here. Back to pass. Huskies get the football. Final 5 seconds of the first half. Goulding out of bounds. Would you believe 1 second still on the clock? Delay of game against the Huskies. That's going to be the call. Going to set them back. And Seven Nation Army being screamed out by the Husky faithful over there. You really have to admire the troopers in the crowd tonight on the Husky side. It's packed. One of the reasons for that, obviously, because it's homecoming, but you kind of get a thought anyway that the Huskies and their great fans, they'd be here anyway, the student body. They'd be here. Rain, shine, homecoming, doesn't matter. The pack is back, seeing their group dressed in black tonight. Wounded Warriors program. And all those Wounded Warriors, well, you can't say enough of great things about them, really. So it's great that the Huskies are doing this as a fine tribute to warriors wounded in combat. Great story there. Airing it out, deep left sidelines to end the half. Goulding, pass complete to 12. Jackson Langolf. That's going to do it for the first half, as Langolf just went out of bounds. Great first half for the Port Huron Northern Huskies. After one complete from Memorial Stadium, Huskies 23 visiting Sterling Heights, just 6. Derek Wark, Big D, CPHS Channel 6. The annual kart race is next. Welcome back. Halftime. CPHS Channel 6, Derek Wark, Big D, 23-6. Huskies on top of the visiting Sterling Heights Stallions at the half. Well, the first half, really, I've said it many times, the Quinn Kotsko show, 3 touchdowns. 2, the big bomb from Blake Goulding, doing a fine job. We used to call him a backup quarterback. Now he's a starting quarterback, and again, doing A1 today. And using number 10, Quinn Kotsko, very effectively thus far. And Kotsko, again, the big 60-yard rushing return touchdown on the punt, of course. Great job, Quinn Kotsko, on the whole, being a fine player and fine leader for this team, picking up in the loss of Alex Johns-Moore. Also, you got some bad weather out there today, sloppy conditions, no big secret. Wet hands on the football, the ball itself is wet, they're dropping them, fumbling, mumbling, stumbling, all that down there today, and it's freezing cold out there for homecoming. Couldn't ask anything more on the scoreboard, though. 23-6, Huskies on top, and that is what the main thing is all about. Derek Wark, Big D, CPHS Channel 6, back with a third in a moment. As part of the Wounded Warrior Project tonight, Huskies in black and playing a very spirited first half of football. Derek Wark, Big D, CPHS Channel 6, the Port Huron Area School District television station, and welcome back to a very wet, rainy, cold, every other adjective you've got for it. It is not a good night at all, and it's really raining, and the camera doesn't really do it justice. You can't always tell. Right there, though, you can. That's one camera shot where you can see at that light to your upper left, it is really coming down out there. But I didn't realize it because I'm spoiled rotten brat up here in the booth. I have my own heater, okay? I didn't know how cold it really was out there. It's freezing out. I'm not kidding here. So, goodness, it's one of those evenings, but heck, if you're the Huskies, you love it because it's 23-6. And on that note, up 17 points, 3 possession game. The Huskies about to kick this one back to the Stallions. Kotsko, let's get Husky, Port Huron. And they'll just let it go into the end zone for the touchback. You kind of get a sense the way Quinn Kotsko has kicked today that he likes the fact that he's got the wind with him on this side. He's absolutely unloading on that football and kicking it out for a touchback every time he's going right to left. Another fun stat here for you. Kotsko, first half of play, kicked a 45-yard field goal. I know he had the wind, but that's still quite a leg. Again, Big D, Derek Wark, football greetings to you tonight. This Friday evening, of course, you're all watching the rebroadcast here, CPHS Channel 6. And so far, Sterling Heights, a lot of miscues again. And really, they still haven't really solved their problem with their long snapping issues. Very, very fortunate, actually. That ball is incomplete. Looked like it was intended for 72, Delonte Sullivan. In which case, that's pretty odd if Delonte Sullivan was the intended receiver there. Because I believe he's a guard. Don't know how they could rule him an eligible receiver, but that's why I'm up here in the booth, I guess. Second down and 10 from the 20. That's what happens when you're trailing 17 on a night like this. On second down. Again, some dancing in the backfield. They pay for it. Huskies get there quickly in the quarterback sack. Hunter Potter gets up all pumped up, and they got the football back. Well, that's what he was so pumped up about. I mean, usually you're all happy you got a sack, but it was a turnover again. And right when I'm talking again about Sterling Heights and their miscues, there you have it. I still believe that this team has more talent than they let on. I really do. They just make too many mistakes. 45 degrees, is that what we're getting for the weather forecast here tonight? Right now. 45. This is a hard hit here, brought down. Goulding smashed a bit by 23, I believe, Deontay Dixon. There you go. And I was down there in the truck there at halftime, as I always do, and I was talking to Ed Sinek there, the head program supervisor. I said, Ed, I'm freezing. He says, well, how do you think our camera people feel, Big D? Well, you know, I do have a heater, so I can't really ballpark it, but it's cold. 45, that gives you an indication, but from the 14, second down and 10. The lone back is Darian Hack. They give to Hack, nope, instead play fake. Goulding, a little bit of dancing down to the 11. Pretty good tackle there, I believe, 55, Michael Adore. Well, the Port Huron Huskies schedule, August the 26th, they lost out to Stony Creek 31-13. September the 2nd, they lost to Grosse Pointe South 34-6. Grosse Pointe South, keep in mind, plays the Big Reds here next week in a real good game. That's going to be a beauty. That's going to be one that they'll talk about because that really is going to be probably for the MAC Blue title. I'm going to miss it too. Unfortunately, I won't be here, but that is going to be a big one. And they beat the Huskies earlier on the year 34-6. Goulding, the pass, end zone. In and out of the hands of intended receiver this time, Kotsko. Pushing and shoving a little bit down there. This time off his hands. They're doing a lot of talking down there. Anyway, September the 9th, Huskies next beat L'Anse Creuse. A very convincing, especially defensively, 10-0 game. That's where I believe the Big Reds are tonight at L'Anse Creuse. September 16th, they lost to a different Big Reds. The Chippewa Valley Big Reds beat them 20-16, but that was a victory Chippewa Valley got late. The Huskies almost pulled off the upset there, and that was in Chippewa Valley, so they almost did it. Been playing a lot better as of late. Goulding, over the middle, crossing pattern caught, touchdown, Huskies. Guess who? Quinn Kotsko. And number 10, Quinn Kotsko, playing in honor of Dave Taddy tonight. He's going to be proud watching this. That's the 4th touchdown from 10. I hate to sound like a broken record, keep repeating myself, but he's that good a football player. He just keeps it up. And I should also add perfect pass by Goulding. In that situation, in that pass pattern, what you've got to do, you've got to pass it and plan to lead the wideout on the route as he's going towards the football. That was done perfectly. Right over the middle. 30-6 now. Huskies. Here you see it again. No real pass rush to speak of. Look at, he had all day to throw it. Just did thread the needle above the D. But you know what? That linebacker there, he's got to come up with that football. He does. You can't simply watch that ball go over your head like that. That is not even that far over his head. He can bat that ball down. He just kind of watches it. I get the fact that maybe the morale's down tonight with such, I'll say it, cruddy weather. It's not good. But a greater effort is needed by the Stallions, I believe. That ball there could have been deflected. Goulding a perfect pass, but that ball clearly capable of being deflected. Kotsko, let's get Husky, Port Huron. Hits the man at the 12, bounces 15 to the 20. Tied up there, brought down hard. Nice job, 13, Alex Shear. Well, after the loss to Chippewa Valley, September the 23rd, Huskies beat Utica. That was last week, 38-14. I think I've been saying 34-14 all night long. And, of course, tonight, September the 30th versus Sterling Heights. Big game next week on the schedule, October the 7th. Huskies here hosting Anchor Bay. I believe that is Saturday, 1 o'clock next week. And then, brace yourselves, October the 14th, the big rivalry game versus Port Huron High. 1st and 10 from the 27. Fake pitch back. Over the middle. Caught this time. Good yardage to the 40. Bumped hard 41. And to the 42. First down. Sterling Heights. 21 the catch. Jalen Dixon. 48. Give him a good bump. Lewis Nowakowski. And then October the 21st. Huskies close out the season with St. Clair. I believe that one is in St. Clair. Here you see the replay of that one. Huskies showing good late pass rush there, really. They do it again and strip them this time, but they jump on the football. I think they got it back. But that last play, one of the rare pass catches, one of the rare receptions for Sterling Heights on the night. There's a lot of talking going on down there right now, and I really think the refs are ignoring it, if for nothing else, just to keep the clock rolling. I mean, you call a penalty, you stop the clock. I think that might be one of the reasons why they're letting him get away with it, but you can tell there's a lot of talking. Here you see he's open, and the referee actually made a nice block there on Hunter Potter. Unintentional, but, and trust me when I tell you, teams use referees as a blocker. I know that sounds strange, but they do. The referee who stands over the middle, who watches the line play to call penalties, teams offensively, they use the ref as a blocker. They do. It's inadvertently, I know, but you use every little bit of inch you can get offensively. You do. And the pros, they'll tell you this to a man. They use the refs. In the pros, though, I believe those guys aren't standing there anymore. They don't have the on-field official anymore to stand right there and watch the line play like they used to. Pretty sure anyway, I think so. But when they are there, when they used to be there, teams in the NFL would use them as blockers too. And you saw that there a moment ago with Hunter Potter, number 21. Blocked away from the football. 3rd and 9 from the 43. Fake again. That's a nice tie-up right there. Great open field tackle, Huskies. 28, Ben Haynes. That's one of those tackles you make, and you save about 5 yards because you make it. Because it's him and the wideout, or in this case, the quarterback on the keeper, I believe. But Haynes made the tackle. Good cornerback. Big playmaker. Here's the punt now. Sterling Heights, flag all over the place. Coach Connell is over there in a coat, I might add, or some kind of a jacket. And that's odd because he likes to show off that tie. He wears that tie weekly. He's not wearing that tie right now. Well, maybe he is still, but he's got a coat on to cover that tie up. He'll tell you he wants to wear that tie. Takes pride in his ties. I don't. I'm not a tie guy per se. I'm sure you're thrilled to death to hear that, but I'm not. Ball marked, 50-yard line, 4th down. Final 7 minutes to go in the 3rd. Very slow game out there today. Usually these kind of conditions allow for a quick pace of a game, basically because you run. These teams have not run the ball very often and very effectively. Sterling Heights more than Northern. And I'm happy to see that from Northern, because they're working on things with their new quarterback. They know Goulding's strength is the pass ahead of the run. By the way, I think the Huskies got the ball back there. They did. Another turnover for Grosse Pointe South. Wow, another one. If this team would just keep the football and not do all these miscues, my goodness, they did it against Port Huron. They're doing it here tonight against Port Huron Northern. I mean, what's that, the 4th turnover in this game? At least the 3rd anyway. And it's been more special teams to decide really their fate with the Kotsko punt fake touchdown rush for 61 yards, I believe it was, back in the first half. But you can tell the Huskies are not content up 17, and I think the main reason for that is they want to get Goulding the throws. They want to get him the practice. Well, this is a bad snap that Goulding just hops on. Loss of 15, almost even, back to the 35 of the Huskies. Well, it's sloppy right now. Look at the rain right there. Oh, I have to laugh, and that's mean because I'm not playing in it. I'm sure the Huskies would be saying, Big D, you come down here and try playing in this. No thanks, guys. I'm staying right up here where I belong. It is really raining, and the field is starting to get some puddles in some areas. There you see. Goulding just makes sure by sliding on that football. That was a light slide, too, and he slid a yard. 2nd and 14. Goulding Keeper this time, hit hard, brought down hard at the 40. Pat Connell, I'm sure, he's kind of holding his breath on that one. Seeing the backup quarterback get smoked after the starter is out. Goulding just out past the 40. Goulding, by the way, playing in honor tonight of the Wounded Warriors campaign, and you, Grant Birch III. Should talk a little bit about that Wounded Warrior program, too. It's right in front of me here, because it is such an important cause. We'll get to that after this play here. 3rd down and 19 from the 41. Sterling Heights, the few people that are here yelling in the rain, yelling defense. Shotgun look again with 4 wide. Sterling Heights comes on a blitz, but they jump offside first. This is where the frustration comes into play here. They are just eating themselves in the foot. You know why you can't have that right there? Not just because it's a 17-point lead. You can't be giving your opponents anything, but it's 3rd and long. Every coach's nightmare to do it on 3rd and long. But you see, from what it's worth, like he jumps past the line. The minute he goes past the ball at this level, they call it. Contact doesn't matter at that stage, I believe. But you saw him slip. That field, you can't get a good jump on the ball, then come back on it. You just slip and fall. Goulding, gonna air it out deep. This one is just slipping out of his hands. I mentioned earlier that the one thing weather like this does is takes away the pass. It is immediately a pass defense. It's like a 12th man, almost. They're just not going to go to Cots go deep again. They tried to there, but there's nothing you can really do. Normally up 23-6 in the 3rd quarter, or in this case 30-6. You'd run the ball a lot, but I really think that's what Coach Connell's doing here. He's trying to get Goulding the plays and the snaps. And that's a telltale sign that I think Alex Johns-Moore might be out for the year. Again, I haven't heard. An MRI was taken Thursday, and I can only wish Alex Johns-Moore the best. You're a great player, Alex. TG, tough guy, and I wish you all the best, definitely. Wish you well. This is going to be roughing the kicker. Wow, I'm at a loss for words. I really am. How can one football team continue to do this? And obviously, this is almost 7 full quarters of football that I've seen Sterling Heights play here at Memorial Stadium this season. They just continue to shoot themselves in the foot. You can't keep doing this. I mean, I know it's wet, I know it's rainy, I know it's cold, but when they played the Big Reds, they were doing this kind of miscues, these kind of mishaps too. And it was great weather, so you can only blame the weather so much, but man, one after the other. I don't believe, though, that this team is a team that is lacking in as much talent as they let on. In danger, I would think, though, of moving down to possibly the MAC Gold. Because for the last 2 seasons, this is an 0-16 football team. But they do have hope. I mean, these Hines players, Joshua Hines, Jacob Hines, they've got talent. Jacob Hines will lead the way next year at quarterback. They have some abilities. Dixon's a good player. Perry, excellent force on defense. Oliver, they have some skilled players. It's just a matter of, sloppy play taking over their games and really is hurting them. Well, they have the ball right now. 1st down and 10 from the 16. Rumbling around left side, brought down by a whole horde of big red, check that Husky tacklers. I almost caught myself again. That rain's playing havoc with me. Oh, did that woman have a pizza box? Yeah. Keep that pizza out of the rain. That's a rule. It is really coming down. Look at that. Goodness. I'm going to the Michigan game tomorrow, and I think I'm doomed too. I hear it's going to be a wet one. 2nd down and 1. 24-yard line. Immediate give, he's up and he's down for a first down. So finally, Sterling Heights can move the sticks again at the 32. Well, again, the Wounded Warrior Project going on tonight. The Northern football team is proud to be a participant in the Wounded Warrior Project, a program specifically designed to help service men and women who have suffered injuries in combat situations. Generous sponsors apparently have bought jerseys in the name of a veteran who have been an important person in their lives. Now, these students are wearing the names and ranks of these people during the game, so that's what you see out there tonight. I'm getting this information actually from the program tonight that everybody that came in the stadium was given. There you see a short handoff for a short gain. Apparently, at the end of tonight's game, the sponsors have been invited to receive their jerseys from the players who support their name on the back of it. So that's a great cause, it really is. Before and during the game, the names have been read out aloud on the public address. And again, the Husky team would like to thank the generous people who helped make this event possible, the Wounded Warrior Project, during this football game. The Times-Herald, WPHM, The Paul Miller Show, Radio First, Coach Connell, the coaching staff, and all of the jersey sponsors. It's a great cause. Here you see a pass straight up. Got some yardage first before a whole horde of tacklers for the Huskies pushes him back. But at least they're moving the ball a little bit. Forward momentum brought them close to the sticks. Still about 3rd down and 2. SFC Williams deserves a lot of credit for the event too. SSG Bixler for all their information regarding the program and their tireless efforts to get the word out for the troops. And most importantly, of course, the troops themselves, veterans of the United States military, whom we continually, silently, and honorably admire every day for protecting our freedoms every single day. I said it before, I'll say it again. You know, I live in Canada, but really that has nothing to do with it. I have so much respect for the troops in the U.S. I really do. In my opinion, we're one and the same, and these guys, wow. So thank you from me to you, definitely. And for those watching that had anything to do with this Wounded Warrior Project tonight, from the big D to you, thank you. Great cause. Great that they're getting the jerseys after the game, too. There you go. 4th down and 1 from the 41 with 1 minute and 34 ticks to go in the 3rd. 30-6, Huskies, a huge lead. They're showing blitz, hack blitzing from the inside, good blocking. Running to the outside is Hines. They're not going to get it. They're pushed back. Huskies hold defensively. That's just good defense over there. 3, Donovan Barnes, and 44 as well, James Glombowski. Well, special thanks to the crew of CPHS Channel 6 tonight. Emily Sudds Desmet, Chad Schuler, Sean Went, the Ox, Brandon Wright as well, slow-mo camera. He was smiling yet complaining about being on the roof tonight. Andy the Big Bad Wolf down there in the truck and on the roof when he had to be tonight, we'll say. Slow-mo director, big fella in the truck, E.J. Shea. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about right there. I'll stop for a moment and let you guys see poor Andy the Big Bad Wolf up there on the roof. Thank heavens for that tarp above him. That's all I can say. 1st and 10, outside pass, intended receiver 85. Dylan Harrison incomplete. Harrison a backup player. Good to see him get some playing time. And of course, graphics, Aaron Bitzinger. There's Emily Desmond. She's smiling, but then again, she has a hood on and a roof over her head. The Big Bad Wolf on the roof there, he had kind of like a tarp above his head. But I don't trust a tarp fully. So, but the good thing is Emily's smiling. So, at least happy despite crazy weather conditions. 2nd and 10, 38, end around, Kotsko. Well, he's slipping and he's sliding. Tackle is made. Coaching staff Sterling Heights jumping up and down. Kotsko there, he could not keep his footing for anything. That shows you, if you look down right now, you see the field. It is a muddy mess. There's still more grass than mud. But goodness, this is one of those days where you look the next day and say, this field got torn up last night. And they may not even repair it. Well, the damage will be done come week 9, but 3rd down and 11 from the 39. In motion, low snap, dropped by Hack, jumped on Sterling Heights. They think they have the football. Now it comes down to whoever gets up from the bottom of this skirmish with it. No, they're saying the Huskies got it back. Hack must have jumped on it. Who gets up last from the bottom of that pile? Are you kidding me? Quinn Kotsko. Can you do any more for this team, Quinn? Wow. Again, Manfred Mann couldn't have been more right. You've not seen nothing like the mighty Quinn. There you go. Punting down now. Quinn, go figure, 43-yard line, punts it off, low punt, off the bounce. Touches a Sterling Heights player, jumps down on the football at the 10. Look out. It is getting sloppy now. I tell you, the fourth quarter's coming up in a minute. And it might not be pretty. But so far, the scoreboard is, if you're a Husky fan, there's 3 complete from Memorial Stadium after 3. Port Huron Northern Huskies, 30. Sterling Heights, 6. Derek Work, Big D, CPHS, Channel 6. Welcome back to the fourth quarter from Memorial Stadium. Derek Work, Big D, CPHS, Channel 6, 30-6. Your Port Huron Northern Huskies on top of visiting Sterling Heights Stallions. And really not a game that they're real happy with the way they've played, and I really don't blame them. A lot of miscues, a lot of fumbles, and all the rest. A very bad evening weather-wise, though. One of the worst I've ever seen in this stadium's history. And believe me, I've seen some bad ones. From the 14, 1st and 10. 15 years worth, I've seen some really bad games. There you see. Huskies. Great swarming defense stops the run dead. 2nd down. I forgot to mention, well, I didn't actually forget it. It wasn't actually mentioned on the list. Ed Sinek, most important man of all down there in the truck, was left off the list. Production supervisor. I don't know who did this list, but they left Ed Sinek's name off. So anyway, to Ed, thanks again, man. Great work down there as always. So to Emily Desmet, Chad Schuler, Sean Wendt, Brandon Wright, Andy Wolf, EJ Shea, Aaron Bitzinger, and of course, Ed Sinek. Thanks for a great job tonight, folks. In rough conditions. Like Andy the Big Bad Wolf, the camera operator, we showed you there in the 3rd quarter. He deserves double pay for this effort. He really does. I don't know what they're paid. I don't care. But I'm telling you, I kind of care what he's paid. Because that's insane up there tonight. It really is. That's why I'm lucky enough to have the booth here. 30-6, Huskies on top. A long game, really. And you'd think with weather conditions like this, they'd run all day, and the clock wouldn't stop, and this game would be through. As normal rainy nights, usually it happens that way, but that certainly hasn't been the case tonight. And mainly the Huskies are to blame for that because, like I said, I believe they're trying to get their new quarterback, Blake Goulding. Although that's not fair. He started the first 3 games of the year. He went 1-2. A game and a half from Johns Moore, and then Johns Moore went out again. Blake Goulding returned, of course. But he's been in there tonight, I think, and he continues to throw the football because they know that they need him to. They know they're going to need him a little bit later on in the season, being as I think Johns Moore is now out for the season with a knee injury. Well, the snap goes through his hands, takes it out at the 2, tackled. 44 wanted the safety, James Glombowski, but he's not going to get it. Close. It's a good effort, but you know what you do there, honestly? You hit that ball out of the end zone and you take the safety. When it's 30-6, I know it doesn't matter, but if that's a close game, you have got to get the safety on that. You can't allow the Huskies to be first and goal. It's a wet night, but again, more special teams miscues from Sterling Heights. It is unbelievable, this team shooting themselves in the foot. Right there, you go down. You do not take that ball out. Absolutely crucial. I know we don't care it's 30-6, but honestly, he's got to take a knee right there in the end zone and take the safety. You have to eat that. Tyler Hughes. No. He slipped and then hit his tackler and then slipped again and fell down. That shows you the field right now. But the Huskies are just going to keep running this football. Not completely sure if the rain might be messing with the headsets or something along those lines. Not hearing myself much anymore. Maybe that's a good thing. Again, Derek Wark, Big D, CPHS Channel 6. Again, I'll be blogging about this one as the night continues to roll along. Very good game if you're a Husky fan, but not so much if you're Sterling Heights, obviously, with a 36 score. Hack. The punch in. Not quite. Brings up third down. And I do blog about this one, bigdsports.info. I talked about it in the first half. Might as well do it in the second. I blog about the games I call play-by-play for, and this one is no different. bigdsports.info. There you go. Mrs. Portis Hollier of the Big Reds wrote me in last week and said, "Can you recognize my son a little bit more? He's a rock star and doesn't even know it." All right, rock on, man, rock on. There you have it, bigdsports.info. That made me laugh, I will say. I asked her who he was trying to imitate, to duplicate. I said, Axl Rose? Oh, the Huskies get in the touchdown. Speaking of Axl Rose, welcome to the jungle. The Huskies are roaring. Well, they're talking about it right now. I think the thing is, the one official initially said he's down, and then the other official said touchdown. I think it's an overruling. Oh, they're saying touchdown, I think. And that one of the main official, the referee down there, is saying, roll the clock, roll the clock. Touchdown. I think that's what he meant because of the mercy rule. Or is that 35? Maybe just giving the sign that, hey, it was a touchdown. Let's roll this game right along here. Kick is up. It's good. It is now 37-6. Huskies. Big D, Derek Ward, CPHS, Channel 6. Well, we're going to pause for a minute of station identification as we see this. Well, you can't really tell who got in and who didn't there. I think it was Blake Goulding on the QB keeper who punched that one in. But again, this is CPHS Channel 6. A moment of station identification. Again, 810-984-6621. The number to call for programming, alerts, and all the rest. Fridays, all request day. They like when I talk about this, because on that day you can call up, or all through the week, and say, hey, big fella in the station, EJ Shea, we want to see more Big D, or any other program you'd like to see. Give EJ a call, give Ed a call. 984-6621, the number to call. And vote for your favorite program, and you can see it again, all request Fridays, CPHS, Channel 6. That was the Ox in there, and I have no idea what he was doing. He wasn't on the camera, but he wasn't away from the camera. So what do you call that? Camera floating? And Emily, the other camera operator in there, smiling again. I saw her frown earlier, so that might not be a permanent smile, but smiling nonetheless. 8:19 to go in the fourth. This game was never in doubt, really, from the Huskies from the minute this game began. It was the Kotsko show. For those of you that maybe just joined us and catching the score of this one late, Quinn Kotsko, 4 touchdowns. Wow, in a word. I mean, the stats for him at the end of the season are going to be unbelievable. They called for the fair catch. I think they're going to be ruled, about the 34-yard line. Hit hard, by the way, and downed. 89 on the hard-hitting tackle, Andy Newman. So the Huskies are going to go back to 500. That's just what the doctor ordered at 3-3 after a 1-2 rough start, and really an 0-2 start. Very, very important that they got that win on week 3, and they almost beat Chippewa Valley. Wouldn't that have been something? At that point, they would have been 2-2. I said it, though, last week against Utica before they won. This is not a 1-3 football team. They're better than this. How good they are will be determined in coming weeks, with Port Huron still on the schedule. And the Big Reds look really good, folks. They do. I don't know if this play just fooled the Husky D, but more time was offered for Hines in that offensive backfield than he could have asked for. He kind of stopped plant-footed, looked around, and there was a Husky behind him that kind of stood there and acted like, does he have the ball still? Well, it allowed that pass to be completed, gain of 6.5, maybe 7, and it'll bring up second down. And they say 3 from the 43, 7 and 42 ticks to go in the 4th. Pitch back, gets to the 40, gets to the outside, this is going to be holding, and it's coming back. This is coming back, definitely holding at the 40, so that doesn't matter, despite a fine tackle, or among tacklers, 13, Alex Shear. You know why you can tell it's a dead ringer that's holding? Because you see an automatic decrease in the Husky player's momentum. Although on a night like this, he might be slipping. That might be the decrease in momentum. But no, that was clear. He was holding them. And that'll bring it back. I don't know if the Ox, the cameraman next door, is actually on his phone. He seems to be able to get everything on that phone. That phone might even cut his hair for him. I don't know. Maybe he's got to score the Tiger game for us, huh? Tigers and Yankees tonight. You can tell it's a real wet, rainy day, because I'm talking about other things here, but fake pitch, immediate give, nothing. Good D Huskies. 13, I believe, Alex Shear again with the tackle. Players of the game, you know what? 11 for the Huskies in the first half. He's not in there right now. Defensively, I'm talking about. But Micah Moore, playing in memory of David Moore this evening, the junior, 6 foot 205 linebacker. This is the best I've seen him look. He was great in that first half, so I'm going to give him Defensive Player of the Game for the Huskies tonight. More players of the game coming up here in a minute. 3rd down, 11 from the 35. Fake pitch again. Airing it out again over the middle. That pass is just too high. You're feasting on that if you're 88 there, Chris Clark, the defensive back. A high pass like that over the middle spells doom for a wideout. That is a suicide pass. I know it slipped out of his hands. The ball is wet and all the rest. You get a ball like that as a wideout over the middle, you are going to get smashed. Clark might have let off a bit because it is, 37-6, but yeah, Micah Moore was great tonight. Making a lot of tackles, aggressive play. I think I gave it to Bishop last week. Moore gets it this week. It's a great job. Goes out to Moore. Here's the punt. Partially blocked yet again. Man, special teams, special teams, special teams. To the 38, and it ended up being okay, but only because of the forward momentum of the football there. To the 38 of the Huskies, that's where they'll get the football. All 3 timeouts, 37-6, they're on top of Sterling Heights. Derek Wark, Big D. Channel 6, CPHS. There you see it. Good man, Ox. And I'm not talking because you might like Moneyball on top of that. 1-1. Tigers and Yankees. Great. Thumbs up, but it's only tied, man. It's only tied. We want a thumbs up with the good Tiger lead. That's what we want. Anyway, thanks. Great stuff. Thanks to the people in the truck there that knew I wasn't joking to get that Tiger score. Great work. Here we go. 1st and 10, 39. Shotgun. The give to 4. Bounced around a bit. Ben Moore, the carry. Not much. Got maybe 1. Defensive player Sterling Heights. You could say Kenneth Perry, 66, because of his great play in the first half. But besides that, really, not much. Deontay Dixon was good. He had a few big hits, so I'll give it to him as the defensive player for Sterling Heights. For Northern offensively, is there any doubt? I mean, I could say Blake Goulding because they were touchdown throws to him. But Quinn Kotsko, he got 4 touchdowns, one of them on a fake punt. How can he not be offensive player of the game? It becomes a broken record, I get that. He gets it all the time probably, but wow. Here's a big carry to the 40, 35, 34 of Sterling Heights. 28 got the snap this time. Ben Haynes on a rare carry. And if he does that on every carry, why would he get rare carries? Great work, Ben Haynes. Playing tonight in honor of Jim Goodrich. A1C Goodrich is his rank. And again, if you're watching this game wondering what I mean, well, the black jerseys tonight for the Huskies and the names on the back of their shirts for the Wounded Warrior program. And these kids are all donating these special shirts to the troops. They have their names on the back of their jerseys to the troops they're playing for this evening. So a great cause. Thank you to all the troops they're playing for. And that's why the Huskies are in black tonight, pure black. Not a far cry from what they're usually wearing, the really dark blue, but I like black. Well, I'm a big fan of black on any uniform, really, but yeah, it looks kind of sharp tonight with that yellow, doesn't it? Huskies have got really backup players in there now. And 28 Ben Haynes lining up at quarterback now. He'd be the 3rd string quarterback. Behind Goulding, the backup, who now becomes the starter, of course, with the loss of Johns Moore. 4 and 30 ticks to go now in the 4th. From shotgun. Bad snap off 2 players. Sterling Heights tries to jump on that football. I think they do. I think they have it. Unless a fluke happens, I think Ryan Cook, number 15, jumped on it for Sterling Heights, and he did. Really, in the second half, the Sterling Heights D has not been too bad. They've capitalized on the fact that the weather's not very good. We know that. But that's one thing they can hold their head pretty high about. That gives you an indication all night long. Rain, rain, rain. And it's not straight down. It's all over the place. What a way to rain out and just flood the you-know-what out of homecoming. They still got the ceremony in, if you're wondering. Homecoming queen was crowned, but crowned in the rain. Back to pass, over the middle, no. Lined up to hit him, but held off this time was 88 Chris Clark. Intended receiver, I believe one of the Hines there, 3 Joshua Hines. I should also mention credit is credit, well, where it's due, really. The kart race tonight. It went in this order. Seniors, they won it. The juniors were second, the freshmen third, and then the sophomores bringing up the rear, coming in last. One of the reasons why that bike race, for some of the groups, not so successful, they have too heavy a bike. It's usually always the light bikes that win that one, because you think about it, you're getting pushed by what, 3, 4, 5 people? Anyway, enough analyzing of the annual bike race. Congrats to the seniors who win for another season. 4 minutes even on the clock in the 4th. Pitch back, standing 20, cuts upfield, good run, 30, 34, still on his feet, 35, cuts it up again, 40, 45. Power run, pushed forward hard to the 44 of Northern. That's just a strong, strong run. Really. Really their biggest running play of the day. 10 on the carry, Jacob Hines. Well, here you see the pitch back. Good blocking there, too. Couple nice blocks. Almost a block in the back there at the 30. Keeps on going. Didn't run out of bounds. And an excellent run, yeah. Pushing forward, still fighting. There you see, that is a good lineman because he's pushing the group forward, getting the extra 3 or 4 yards for his runner. 37-6, don't tell him that. He's pushing them forward. He's still trying hard. Back to pass over the middle, caught at the 40, escapes tackle, 30, 25-20. Sterling Heights has their second touchdown of the night. Well, for them you can say about time. Joshua Hines, 35 plus. Well, that's really a great run set up by previously a great power run that just kind of ignited them, at least for a short time here. 37-12 now the score, 3 and 12 ticks to go in the fourth. Again, Derek Wark, Big D, CPHS, Channel 6. You can have every adjective in the world to describe tonight. Cold, wet, rainy, you name it. Cameraman smiling, so I am too. What the heck? You know what I mean? Michigan game tomorrow. I can't complain. Yeah, thumbs up, buddy. Thumbs up. Timeout on the football field, so we'll talk about it here briefly. The Kotsko show, you know all about that. Hats off to the Husky D, other than a couple last plays. Of course, backup players in there right now, so you can't really fault them. But again, a strong effort. Huskies defense. I think the big key going forward for the Huskies as a defensive unit, they really have to watch themselves giving up the big play. Because Port Huron High is a team that gets a lot of big runs, a lot of big passes, a lot of big plays. If Huskies can shut that down, they have a chance in that game in the future. If not, it might be a long night and long rest of the season. Eliminate the big play Huskies, and I think you'll be fine. Derek Wark, the Big D, CPHS, Channel 6. 3:12 left on the clock. It is soaked, too, in the stands. So I'm happy to be in the booth. I've said that 800 times. Despite the fact that the window is very, very dusty, and I could barely see out of it all night. Could barely see the Sterling Heights numbers, in fact. They tried for the two-point conversion, and they got it. So in the very least, Sterling Heights a little bit to cheer for. 3:12 to go. 37-14. Mop-up duty, if you will, as far as the Huskies go, but this means a lot to Sterling Heights just to put points on the board. Here you go. I called it a run, actually. This was a pass over the middle, and there you see. Nothing fancy about it, just a flick over the middle, but the whole play is possible because of the first initial tackle at the legs that was missed. If they make that tackle, they're down back at the 35, but the fact that they didn't make it, he slipped through, got one man and the rest of the Huskies, because of the fact that it's so slippery out there, if you get a first step above anyone else, that first step is going to hold for the majority of this football field with most of the players out there, because your fastest players right now are nowhere near as fast as they'd normally be. You're slipping, you're sliding, and you don't get that big edge that the great athletes like Kotsko would get normally now, because you're slipping and sliding on your first stride, which normally, the really fast guys, it sets you off. You're in another speed after the first stride. They can't get that on a wet night. Kick off again. Let's get Husky, Port Huron. Down 34. Just falls on the ball. Doesn't look like he's in too big a hurry to give up the ball either. Hunter Potter. He's been pretty colorful tonight. Running off to the sidelines, getting the fans involved, and they needed it too, because it's very important here in this stadium to keep the fans going. Because it's a great stadium when the fans are alive. I know that because I'm on the Big Red side, and they're always loud, no matter who they play, no matter what. But on the other side, too, when I hear them over there, they are very, very loud. It's important to keep them in this. That's what home advantage is all about here at Memorial Stadium. Shotgun look, the give. Right around right tackle where he had an open hole and a ton of yards to go. 4, Ben Moore, pushed out of bounds. 17. You know Coach Connell will absolutely love that effort. By a backup player. That's why he loves the effort. Offensive player of the game for Sterling Heights. Really, you got to go Joshua Hines because he's had a say in, I think, both their touchdowns. So I'll give it to him. But other than that, there really hasn't been a lot of offensive production from Sterling Heights tonight. So there's your 4 players of the game. Dixon and Hines from Sterling Heights. And I gave it to Micah Moore from your Huskies, also Quinn Kotsko. Go figure. He only had 4 touchdowns. Well, this play here is going to be called unsportsmanlike or unnecessary roughness, even a late hit. You could call any one of them. It's one thing to carry 28 Ben Haynes to the sidelines like they did, but then the extra tackle at the end. Now keep in mind, it is slippery, so you're going to hold that player. It's harder to make the tackle because you can't plant your feet. But you can stop. You don't need to down him with a body slam or flying body press or whatever you call that over there. But anyway, 28 can take it. Ben Haynes, he can take it. He's a TG tough guy, that's why. 2 and 45 ticks to go in the 4th. Again, our Huskies are going to go to 3 and 3. So a very, very important game for them. In the rain, the wet, the cold, everything but snow. Look at it now. It is really coming down. This might be the worst rainstorm I've seen that they continue to play football since I've been here in 15 years. What is this? Acts like she's drawing on the screen, but we know she's faking because those cameras are worth. I have no idea. They're not worth a few cents. Let's put it that way. Well, they're worth basically what the Big D's paid. The Big D's paid in millions here at CPHS. We know that. So those cameras are worth about that. So there you go. But it is really coming down. By the way, I should also add 11 is back there now, Micah Moore. I gave him Defensive Player of the Game for the Huskies. He's back there now getting the snaps. 28, I hope Ben Haynes is okay. Ever since that kind of roughing penalty there a minute ago, unsportsmanlike, late hit, doesn't matter what the call was. They still a little too rough on that one, the late hit, so a moment ago, so. Well, she's missing the E. They're not St. Arling, if you're wondering. They're Sterling. Looks like the T in the Stallions is leaving her too there. That's a cool Broncos symbol, though, isn't it? That one taken, of course, from the Denver Broncos. But they're troopers. They've been here all day long. It's a nice raincoat, though. And, of course, everybody that is still here, getting fewer and fewer by the minute, in umbrellas. Well, they're wearing an umbrella. Well, wearing one. They're using an umbrella, I guess you could say, but if you're the players and you're the officials right now, even poor Pat Connell getting drenched and the rest of the Husky, and Sterling Heights coaching staff, of course, you want this game over right now. I know Coach Connell wants to see some of his backup players have a chance to get in the end zone and all that, but 2:45 left. You got to be thinking about ticking this clock down and getting out of here the way the rain's coming down. I'm not even getting wet. And it's annoying looking through the window here at the rain. Well, this is a snap through the fingers of the QB here. 11, Micah Moore. He smartly jumps on it. But that's a gimme gift sack way back. They went from the 10 to the 30 in one play. Loss of 20. Second and 30. Which would make it technically second and goal, really. Well, okay, they're calling it second and 20 from the 30. There we go. Shotgun look. They're still lining up in shotgun, which kind of makes me laugh, really. Mika Moore, carry, left side, got a couple. And now it's about running that clock down. I would think Coach Connell came in during that timeout, and he might have had a thought of getting some backup players that don't score very often, as I was talking about, into the end zone, because you don't see it too much. But now after that snap through the hands of Moore and jumping on the ball way back and the loss of yardage, he may just run the ball now, tick this clock off, and get out of here. Huskies are 3-3. I'm happy for them about that because the schedule doesn't get any easier. But I will say this. 3-3 tonight. I could see them going to Anchor Bay and winning next week because the Big Reds beat them 40-14 earlier in the year. So it can be done. More slips and falls, another sack, lost more yards, and it brings up fourth down. I could see them beating Anchor Bay going 4-3. I could see them ending up beating St. Clair going 5-3. But the big one for them, because the schedule, I don't think, is that bottom heavy. The key is beating Port Huron High. And you know what? I'm sorry to say it. I'm not sure it's possible. In the 15 years I've done this, they are that good a team. I'm serious. I love the fact that the Huskies are back to 500 and all the rest. If Johns Moore was playing in that game, I really think it might be different. But the Big Red D, these guys are good. They are just flat out good this year. But I'll tell you this. I would love to see the Huskies battle back to at least 5-4, to at least give themselves a chance at making the playoffs. Last year it was just the opposite. Last year the Huskies went 7-3, Big Reds 5-4. They both got in. In a perfect world, I want to see them both get in here as well. That'd be outstanding. And I think it's possible. I really do, because this Husky team, they have character players. They have great D, as they've demonstrated tonight. It's all about, can they get Kotsko involved offensively? And can Blake Goulding continue to be a strong quarterback on the pass? He's since been out of this game. And no kidding, they're going to pull him. With Johns Moore already down, you can't risk Goulding injury status out here on a wet football field. There you see, final 15 seconds. Coach Connell really is not caring right now about the clock or the score. He really wants to see his team work on some things. Well, pretty odd in a blowout such as this, but maybe he feels that he gets more out of a game than a practice, than a scrimmage with these guys that don't play a lot. And you have to respect him for that. As the opposing team, you don't really care much for this, but... And you don't care much for this weather. Look at that. Kudos to the Port Huron Northern Husky marching band tonight, too. Because they've got to sit there and play and stand and play and get wet, soaked. Their instruments get soaked. That's not much fun. Here's a reverse again off the pitchback. Cutting up again, 40, missed tackle, 45, 50, past midfield, still going. Sterling Heights, as the clock runs out, has another touchdown. It won't matter, but 23 Deontay Dixon took it the distance. Credit the weather. I don't think the Huskies could position themselves carefully enough to make that tackle. And Deontay Dixon is a strong talent to begin with. He just flat out took it off. Well, I would guess they'll go for two, if for no other reason they've got nothing to lose. It's already over. Final score is either going to be 37-20 or 37-22. I believe they're going to go for two here, and that will be that. Sterling Heights is going to fall to 0-6 overall and 0-3 in the MAC Blue. While they're lining up to shake hands, they're going to call the game right there. Final score tonight from Memorial Stadium. Your Port Huron Northern Huskies 37, visiting Sterling Heights 20. Congrats on getting back to the 500 mark, Coach Connell and the rest of the Port Huron Northern Huskies. And tributes go out to number 10, Quinn Kotzko, and Blake Goulding. The two of you tonight truly were great. Awesome game, guys. See you next week. Go Huskies.